So hey guys, this is Mias, and in this video we are going to solve grade 12 inheritance problem on the 30 days of code on HackerRank. Okay, so in this problem we are going to deal with the inheritance. So today's task is, in this problem we have given two classes. Okay, one is person class and second is the student class. Okay, so the person class is already defined in the code here, but we need to declare for the some functions and the variables as well in the student class. Okay, and what we need to do is, in the student class we need to write a constructor here which has 4 parameters. Okay, one is type of string, let's say it is a first name, and second is type of another string, that is last name, and third is type of integer, and fourth is type of score, that is going to be a integer type of array. Okay, and then we need to define a calculate function that is going to give a return variable, a character variable. Okay, and we need to calculate the average of the scores that is present in this integer array. Okay, and we need to find that if the average is going to be in between 90 and 100, then we need to return the O, capital O character return. Okay, and then we need to check for, if this condition is not satisfying, then we need to check for the other these conditions here. Okay, so that is just a simple logic. We just need to define if and else condition here. Okay, so that is not the much part here, but let's say we have this sample input. So in the sample input, what we have given here, we have given the first name and the last name, and then we have given the ID of the student. Okay, and then we have passed a integer variable, and this is denoting that the scores that is passed by the user is going to be the for the two subjects. Okay, so first subject score is going to be 100 and second is going to be the 80. Okay, so what we need to do is, we need to first print the name with the colon, this is a string. Okay, and then we need to print the last name, that is going to be a memali, and then we need to print this first name with the comma separate and the space separate, and then we need to print the ID of this student, and then we need to print the grade, and then we need to print the character that is going to be the calculated with the if and else condition on the average base. Okay, so let's say we have the 118 for this sample input, and we need to calculate the average, that is going to be 90, and the average grade of 90 is corresponding to the letter grade O. Just like you can see here, it is in the between range of 90 to 100, and we need to print the O, capital O letter by the calculate method. Okay, so let's take on my solution here. So in this code we have already defined the person class here and a constructor here with the 3 parameters. Okay, so these 2 parameters are the string, and third one is the ID number that is going to be given by the user. Okay, and then we have defined a print person function here. Okay, and there is another scenario here. Let me give you the exact example of this. So we are just taking the person class to inherited the person class into the student class, and we are defining the constructor here, just like you can see here, and we are taking the 4 parameter in this constructor here. Okay, and the first and last name is going to be string, and ID name is going to be integer, and the score is going to be the integer array. Okay, so we are defining all these 4 variables with the self dot variables, because these are the variables for this student class, and these variables are for the global purpose. Okay, and then what we need to do is, we need to create a print person function here, and remember that in the person class we have already defined the print person function here, but we are overwriting it. Okay, here in the print person function here, we are printing these 2 lines here. So these 2 lines are just very basic. With the one we need name and colon with the separate space here, and the last name, and then the comma, and then the first name. Okay, and then we are going to print the ID of the student, and then we have defined a new calculate function here, and we are first of all we are taking for the length of the score, because we need to take the length of this score array, because we need to iterate over it and iterate all the values to find the sum out of it. Okay, so then we have defined n is going to be 0, and then we are taking a for loop for counting the sum out of all these values present in this score integer array. Okay, and then we are calculating the average out of here. Okay, and in the average is going to be into the y variable, and then we are checking for these values here. Okay, so if the value of the y is greater than or equal to the 90, that is going to be in the range between 90 to 100, and we are going to return the capital O character here. Okay, and then if this condition is not true, then we are checking for these condition here, and if the corresponding condition is going to be true, then it is going to be written these 5 values here. Okay, and in the last, if there is nothing condition is going to be true, then it will return the T character here. Okay, so this is just a simple logic here. We don't need to put much out of it, but we need to have knowledge about the the classes and objects, and we also have the knowledge about how we can define the constructor here. And because this is a Python 3, then we are going to use this initialize method here and init method here, because this is used for creating the constructor for any class here. Okay, so that's it. This is just a simple problem, and we are going to run this code, and it is just processing because my net is very slow. Okay, so just wait for some time now. So our code is submitted with the sample test case 0 successfully, and now we are going to submit the code. Okay, so I think you can understand the logic behind this. This is just a simple problem based on the inheritance concept, and if you have some knowledge about the oops concept, then you can easily do this. Okay, so I think now you can understand about this topic, and that's it. This is just a basic problem here. Okay, and also a very basic solution here. So that's it for this video. If you have any question here about this problem and about any problem with this solution, then you can also contact me through the comment section below. Okay, and if you are new here, then please subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to like and share this video to all of your friends who ever need this. Okay, so bye bye and see you.